Good morning, television family. We've made it to a Tuesday, 26th day of April, 2022. I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's good to see you. Good to be seen. 45 degrees, high clouds, pretty much the same start we had yesterday, but things are going to get a little cooler. In fact, most of this week, pretty unsettled, all things considered. We'd like it sunny and mild at about 70. Well, that ain't going to happen. Big story today is going to be the wind. It's already breezy out there. Wind out of the west-northwest at about 17 miles an hour. It's going to be borderline windy at times, especially late this afternoon until about sunset tonight. We're going to see the occasional gust of wind that's going to really go whew. Quick heads up on that. And unfortunately, the odds of seeing a little bit of rain on Saturday for the Kai's Fiber Youth Parade, it's kind of increasing a little bit. Could be a little wet on Saturday. It's certainly going to cool down a little bit. We hit 63 yesterday, almost normal. We're not going to get to 60 today, but we should be dry for most of this week. And again, towards the weekend, we start seeing an increasing chance of some precipitation. Let's hope it holds off. Forecast details are coming up. A lot of news. Busy day in the newsroom yesterday. Sports, we got one of the biggest sporting events we've televised in quite some time tonight. Two of the best 4A soccer schools in the state are right here in the Valley, and they're going to play each other tonight, talking about the Wildcats and the Panthers at Wildcat Stadium in a battle for first place in the Big Nine. We will have it for you live at 7 o'clock tonight. Also, we'll preview the draft when we get to sports in just a little bit. And since the 103rd Apple Blossom Festival begins in 2 days, on Tuesday, under sunny skies but cool temperatures, we're going to revisit my interview with Darci Christoferson, the festival administrator, to get you ready to go for all the cool Apple Blossom stuff. Parades, food fair, beer garden, everything. Everything that is Apple Blossom associated with Darci in the back half of the program. Let's get going. Let's take our tour with our PTZ cameras to begin the festivities, as we always do, and we always begin with that camera, sometimes called the cross camera. It's actually quite a bit of ways from the cross. We moved it a couple of months ago, a little bit farther to the east. It's at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights, that camera looking down over the valley. The Columbia looks a little high with the snowmelt coming down from the upper elevations. Outside of that, outside of a few high clouds, very pleasant morning. The birds are chirping and the grass is growing and the trees are budding down. Camera number 2. Oh yeah, good view there. That, I want to say maybe that's Stein turned around backwards. That's the monitor camera. Okay, well, it's Cashmere we're looking at. Anyway, towards the upper valley, towards Dryden, Peshastin, and Leavenworth, and points to the north and the west of us. And hopefully you orchardists out there in the monitor area got through this cold weather okay. Keep your fingers crossed. Not going to really know what kind of damage was done to the fruit trees that were already starting to bud out. We're not going to know for a while yet what kind of damage they had to deal with that unseasonably cold and wet weather. Camera number 3. That looks to be the Arundel Rock camera. Let me describe what you're looking at. There is a van and there is a car, and they are driving to the north. We're looking down towards the Wenatchee Valley. You can see Mission Ridge way off into the distance. They're skiing this weekend at Mission Ridge. First time since 1983, 39 years. They have May skiing at Mission Ridge. That's pretty cool. From the Arundel Rock camera and Lake Antioch to your right. And camera number 4. That's the Hose Landing camera. That's a preview of what you're going to have to be dealing with a little bit later on today, because, of course, they are doing slope stabilization work on the highway, Highway 97A, about 4 miles south of Antioch. They started it yesterday. It's going to go all the way through May 6th with major backups. If you have business up to the north, your best bet is going to be on the Douglas County side of the river. Highway 97 and US 2 is the way to go, or you're going to be sitting in your car for quite a period of time. We'll talk a little bit. We got some footage from yesterday afternoon to show you exactly how long these backups were when we get to the news. Heads up on that. This is going to go on for a couple of weeks. Anyway, again, this is about 4 miles south of Antioch at milepost 211 on Highway 97A. A couple of slides to show for you. It is going to be breezy today. These are your peak wind gusts, most of them this afternoon, somewhere between about 2 o'clock to about sunset, with the strongest winds about 4 or 5 o'clock. So we're going to have some pretty strong sustained winds, right around 15, 16 miles an hour for most of the day, but gusts above 20, close to 30 for the Wenatchee Valley at times. Other locations will see even stronger winds as these gradients are starting to tighten up a little bit. Cold fronts moving through the region. That's what's going on. And when I say cold front, I'm talking about some pretty chilly overnight lows for some folks in our viewing area, especially early Wednesday morning and early Thursday morning. Here in the Wenatchee Valley, we could go down into the mid-30s for the overnight low Wednesday night into early Thursday morning before the sun comes up. And it's going to be chilly again early Thursday morning in many locations. We'll be above the freezing mark, but some locations in our viewing area will actually be at freezing or below freezing for the overnight low on early Wednesday morning and early Thursday morning. Wanted to let you know about that. Could get rather chilly. From the National Weather Service. Sunshine today, quite a bit of it. As this cold front comes in, it's going to scour the clouds out. We'll see some sunshine, but that 58 is pretty chilly. Our normal high this time of the year is 65 degrees. We got used to the cooler than normal weather again. Look at those overnight lows all the way down to about 34 tonight. And again, it's going to be windy this afternoon. It's going to be windy all day. Breezy this morning, windy this afternoon. And it's going to stay fairly windy into the evening hours before it calms down right about sunset on Wednesday. We'll do it again Wednesday. It's going to be a little windy at times and a high of 58 degrees. So back-to-back sunny, breezy days with most of the wind today, really. Not so much tomorrow. Overnight low 36 on Wednesday. Thursday, partly cloudy. Couple of clouds coming in. That's day one of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. We'll call it partly cloudy, partly sunny, depending on whether you're an optimist or a pessimist. Close to 60 degrees, 39 for the overnight low. Friday, sunshine warming up. Probably the nicest day of the week. High of 65. Saturday for the Kai's Fiber Youth Parade, we now have a 40% chance of precipitation. That has been increasing as the forecast gets closer and closer to Saturday. And below normal temperatures, the high of 61. And we say hello to May with partly cloudy skies and a high of 66. At your forecast, 7 minutes after the hour, grab your cup of coffee, come right back and join me. I got some headlines for you in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
The workforce and career programs at Wenatchee Valley College are for you. The programs we offer are high demand, so you can kickstart your career and get connected to industry experts. With dedicated instructors and financial support available, we're behind you every step of the way. Are you ready for something new? Find your next career at Wenatchee Valley College. We have options for learners like you.
You've got a lot to do today. While you're out and about, remember to dispose of your unused medications safely and anonymously. It's a simple act that makes your home a safer place. Next time you're at the pharmacy, just place them in the drop box. To find a location, visit medproject.org.
High clouds, 45 degrees. We will see some sun breaks as the day progresses. Sunshine, windy at times. Highs will be in the 50s, upper 50s, right around 60. We'll do it again on a Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, not so bad. Maybe a little bit of rain, though, for the Kai's Fiber Youth Parade on Saturday. Let's begin with this story. A Chelan resident has been arrested and charged with repeated sexual assaults against a child, allegedly commencing more than a decade ago. Last Wednesday, sheriff's deputies arrested 73-year-old Wesley Allen Cheney after a 13-year-old disclosed allegations of sexual abuse that began in early childhood. Cheney was a neighbor of the alleged victim who said the abuse continued until she was about 11 years old. On Monday, Chelan County prosecutors filed charges against Cheney, including first-degree child rape, 2 counts of child molestation, sexual exploitation of a minor, and 4 counts of unlawful imprisonment. He remains housed in the Chelan County Jail on a $1 million bond. The El Tapatio taco truck in South Wenatchee at the intersection of Ferry Street and, well, there it is. It was completely destroyed in a fire yesterday morning. A bunch of black smoke came up into the air. This is at Ferry and Crescent Streets. It was first reported at about 7:04 in the morning yesterday, and a Ballard ambulance responder reported hearing a large explosion. There were no injuries. Kay McKellar of the Chelan County Fire District 1 said flames were shooting through the roof of the truck when the firefighters arrived, and the fire was threatening nearby propane tanks. She said an employee had been in the truck from 4:30 to 5:30 in the morning doing prep work but not doing any cooking. The fire is believed to have started in the cooking area of the truck. The investigation is ongoing. A naturopathic doctor in East Wenatchee is going to pay a little more than $16,000 to settle a federal complaint that she unlawfully prescribed opioids and other controlled substances. Jacqueline Thomas, who practices with the family-owned Alpine Valley Wellness Center, admitted writing at least 110 prescriptions for narcotics and sedatives from 2016 to 2021. Naturopaths aren't licensed to prescribe any substance stronger than codeine. In an agreement signed last month with the U.S. Attorney's Office, Thomas agreed to pay $16,500 and cease giving such prescriptions in the future. The agreement helps Thomas avoid prosecution under the U.S. Controlled Substances Act. Authorities say it does not appear the illicit prescriptions led to any ill things in the patients themselves, however. The Wenatchee School Board is likely going to vote later on today whether to create election districts. And that means future board members must reside in a certain district in order to serve on the school board. Administrators and legal counsel are recommending that the school district subdivide itself into 4 districts with 4 of the 5 school board seats decided in those elections. A 5th seat would be elected at large. Now, currently, Wenatchee is one of the last school districts in the area that elects all of their board members at-large positions. Such at-large systems have been challenged in other districts in Washington because they tend to disenfranchise the growing minority of Latino voters. Washington hunters bagged more than 24,000 deer in 2021, but it may sound like a lot, but that's actually down a lot. In 2020, they harvested 5,000 more than that. In fact, it's the lowest deer harvest overall in the last 20 years. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife attributes the drop to a number of factors, including major outbreaks of disease among the state's deer herds. An estimated 25% of white-tailed deer died as a result of illness and about 15% of mule deer. Wildlife managers expect the issue to issue fewer deer hunting permits this year while they wait for area herds to rebuild themselves. And the Wenatchee River Institute in Leavenworth hosted a pretty unique event on Friday. It was called the Trashin' Show. The show was co-sponsored by Waste Loop and other sustainability organizations, and it had Cascade School District students and teachers and librarians modeling homemade outfits recycled from previously used material. Here's a sample of the activity on Friday night. Pretty cool event. And at the top of the hour, we showed you a live shot from our hose landing camera across the river to the Entiat side. This was the backup yesterday at 4 o'clock. Look at that. You know what's going on at milepost 211, about 4 miles south of Entiat. They are doing slope stabilization work, and they will for the next couple of weeks. So basically, the closure will start at about 8:15 this morning, so you have a window now to go. And at the top of each hour, basically from 9 to 9:15, 10 to 10:15 on down the line, they will open the road for 15-minute intervals at the top of each hour to let traffic through in both directions. This will go through Monday through Friday, again, from 8:15 in the morning until 5 o'clock, and this goes through the next couple of weeks. That's a huge backup that you see. And this is from about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon from our hose landing camera. So again, at the top of each hour, starting at 8:15 this morning, then again at 9:15, 10 o'clock on down the line, is when they'll open up the roadway for traffic to get through. Outside of that, in those other 45 minutes each hour, the road will be closed entirely in both directions. So your best bet's the Douglas County side of the river if you want to avoid sitting in your car for a while. Going to go on until a week from Friday, May 6th. That's what's making headlines on this Tuesday. If my trick need tells me anything, we're going to have a lot of news again for you at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. What's going to happen in the Wenatchee Valley in north central Washington, and what does happen with the preview. Here's Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, cooler weather is expected over the next couple of days with possible rain on Thursday. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Grantstrom catches you up on all the high school sports happening this week, as well as the latest on the Kraken and Mariners. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
I watch. We hope you do too. And if you have a news tip, we've gotten some pretty good news tips. We've gotten some news tips that we followed up on. It was important news, and we ended up getting it on our newscast, on our website, and our Facebook page. You can use our Facebook page and our website and our email address to get a hold of us right at the bottom of your screen. We'd love to hear from you. After a break, we'll preview the NFL Draft. It's Thursday night. And also Seattle Kraken hockey, high school sports, and more. It's 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Getting ready for the Classy Chassis Parade.
The Washington State Apple Blossom Festival is here, and NCW Life is your official TV station. Join us for the Les Schwab Classy Chassis Parade Friday, May 6th at 6 p.m. Coverage sponsored by CASA of Chelan Douglas Counties, Together for Youth, AmeriCorps Community Action, Apple Valley Honda, Bob's Burgers and Brew, Global Card Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control. Your official TV station for the 2022 Apple Blossom Festival is the NCW Life channel.
Hi, I'm Katie Joslin and I'm a pediatrician at CVCH. We know that as new parents, you have a lot of decisions to make. At CVCH, we have a team of caring pediatricians and family medicine providers who love to take care of newborns. As you're making that decision of where you'd like to go, we hope that you'll consider coming to CVCH, where any of the providers you choose would care for your baby as if it was one of their own.
Just about 18 minutes after the hour, it's draft week in the NFL, and the Seattle Seahawks, who coincidentally enough play in the National Football League. Seattle has 8 picks in this year's draft, including the 9th overall pick in the first round. That hasn't been the case since John Schneider and Pete Carroll came to the Seahawks.
It's going to be different. We haven't experienced since the first year we were here. We had the 2 first-round draft picks, and so there's a lot of planning, a lot of thoughts that go through your head, a lot of different scenarios. We may pick at 9, we may not. We don't know yet. We're going to do whatever we can to help this football team as much as we possibly can, and it's obviously exciting, but it's not necessarily a place that you want to be drafting.
Coach Pete Carroll says there's an energy around Seahawk headquarters because they haven't had a pick this high in the draft in a long time.
There is definitely an excitement about this because there's only so many things that can happen. When you're picking 25th and 8th and 28th and down, there's a million scenarios. This is not like that. It's a little different. So there's a different level of excitement about the opportunity. And then as John said, we'll be interested to see how other people see it, and are they willing to come chasing that spot too. So it's just everything about it is just more challenging, more exciting, and we're looking forward to it.
Of course, Seattle got quarterback Drew Lock when they traded away Russell Wilson, but there has been speculation that the Seahawks are looking at drafting a quarterback with that 9th overall pick. Coach Pete Carroll says, wait a minute, Lock is going to be in camp, he's going to be doing OTAs, and there's going to be a quarterback competition.
His first impression for me is that he's really excited about the new energy of our club, the energy that he can feel from the players and the coaches about his opportunity. He's upbeat and very comfortable with how everything's gone so far. So it's been really quick, but he's been open to say that, and express that. And so, it's a new lease on life for him, and he's looking forward to taking full advantage of that. He's coming in with his competitive hat on and ready to roll. So it's going to be really exciting to see how he fits in.
So how does this pencil out? Pay attention now. There's going to be a test later on. Seattle has the 9th overall pick in the first round, and the 8th and 9th pick in the second round, the 8th pick in the third round, the 4th pick in the fourth round, the 9th and 10th pick in the 5th round, and the 8th pick in the 7th round. Did you memorize that? Doesn't matter. John Schneider says we're still building, and we will always try and build a championship team.
I wanted to emphasize, in 2010 when we had like our first press conference or whatever, I wanted to let people know that, hey, growing up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, all I cared about, was what were the Packers doing every single day to get better, right? And so that's the message. I haven't said that in years, but the fans need to know that, whether it's the coaches or, the guys in sports science, the people in our trainers taking care of people, the strength conditioning guys, our equipment guys, everybody, we're doing whatever we can every single day to have a consistent championship caliber football team. And fans need to take, there has to be a reassurance of that, right? And what we can say is that it really doesn't stop.
The draft gets underway in Las Vegas Thursday night, 5 o'clock. I, for one, can hardly wait. Yeah, and you can watch it on the NFL Network or on ESPN. Seattle Kraken, just 4 games left, including tonight's matchup. They're in Vancouver taking on the Canucks. Seattle called up goaltender Joey Decord and defenseman Dennis Cholowski over the weekend from their team in Charlotte, their affiliate team. They practiced with the team yesterday, expected to get some playing time over the final week of the season. Coach Dave Haxtell says he's very happy with the way the Kraken have been playing as of late.
You want to continue competing hard, competing, together, regardless of what the lineup and what the names on the roster are. We've been able to do that. We had one period that stunk. That was the second period in Minnesota. We know that. But we were able to right the ship a little bit in the third period, even though the game was out of reach. And then our competitive level in Dallas was excellent on a back-to-back. A couple mistakes, too many mistakes getting out of our own zone, especially from underneath our goal line, led to some chances against. But the overall execution, the overall compete level, especially as you look through that game and especially through the third period. Was outstanding. So we want to work to continue that. We're playing teams that have a lot on the line over the next couple of days, so we know we've got a challenge in front of us.
The Kraken and the Canucks, they'll drop the puck at 7 o'clock tonight, and you can watch it on Root Sports Northwest. Mariners are in Tampa Bay. They got a 9-game road trip, Tampa Bay, and then Miami, and then Houston. Seattle will send Logan Gilbert to the mound to try and extend their 3-game winning streak. Logan is pitching really well. He's 2-0. He's got a .54 ERA. Seattle batters will take on Matt Weiser, who was 1-0 with a 2.45 ERA. First pitch is at 3:40 at Tropicana Field. You can watch it on Root Sports Northwest. All right, to the Les Schwab Fast Pitch Softball scoreboard from yesterday. Ephrata swept a doubleheader from Grandview. No problems at all. In fact, total scores added up 36-0. Orville all over Bridgeport, and Tonasket topped Curlew 15-9. On the schedule today in girls softball, it's Cascades visiting Omak for a doubleheader at 3:30. Okanagan will host Quincy for 2 games starting at 4. Eastmont visits Sunnyside today at 4. Wenatchee will host Davis. Pateros visits Lake Roosevelt at 4:30, and Waterville Mansfield welcomes Soap Lake. On the baseball diamonds today, Manson will host Brewster. Doubleheader starts at 3. At 4:30, Liberty Bell at Lake Roosevelt. Waterville Mansfield will host Riverside Christian. In the big schools, you got Eastmont hosting Sunnyside at 4 o'clock. Quincy hosting Okanagan at 4:30. Cascade visits Omak. Chelan takes on Kashmir. Wenatchee's on the road at Davis at 5 o'clock. Moses Lake welcomes West Valley. And we got a big tilt tonight. This is going to be good. Who's number 1 in the Big 9? Well, they both are right now. We'll find out tonight on the NCAA Life Channel. Sebastian Moraga, Matt Wiesen, Eastmont hosting Wenatchee. Panthers are 9-2-1. Overall, 7-1 in Big 9 play. The Wildcats are 9-1-2. Overall, 8-1 in Big 9 play. The two teams met back on April Fool's Day. Wenatchee came from behind to win that one, 3-2. 7 o'clock tonight, live on television or our Facebook page. There's other action on the pitch. By the way, Okanagan will host Bridgeport at 4:30. Orville visits Liberty Bell. Manson takes on Tonasket at 5. You got Omak at Quincy. At 6, Cascade hosts Chelan. Othello visits Ephrata. It's going to be a good game tonight. Looking forward to that. Panthers and the Wildcats. These are two really good teams. Well coached, well played. Going to be good. Check it out. If you can't make it to the pitch, watch it on TV. You'll be glad you did. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this 26th day of April. It is 25 minutes after the hour. I had 6 obscure holidays to choose from. It's National Audubon Day because John James Audubon was born on this date. National Help a Horse Day, all for that. National Kids and Pets Day, all for that. National Richter Scale Day. I had no idea why. National Dissertation Day, but no, we're going to celebrate the good old-fashioned pretzel. German in origin, the legendary story of why the pretzel has its shape is that there would be a gift to kids who memorized their prayers, and so they kind of look like kids praying, kind of. It's a myth. There's no real evidence to support that. Pretzels are a symbol of good luck, have been for years. German in origin, when the Germans emigrated to North America in the 18th century, they brought the pretzel with them, and a great deal of German immigrants settled in Pennsylvania, and so the pretzel in Pennsylvania became synonymous with each other. As a matter of fact, although the average American eats about 2 pounds of pretzels every year, the average resident of Pennsylvania eats 12 pounds of pretzels every year. They sell about $550 million worth of pretzels in this country every year. I love a big, soft pretzel, hot, dipped in mustard. Oh, I love it. So good. By the way, pretzels without salt are called baldies, just in case you're curious. Why anybody would want to eat a pretzel without salt is beyond me. Happy National Pretzel Day today at 27 minutes after the hour. Today in history, he was on the lam for 12 days, but they got him. John Wilkes Booth. They caught up to him at a farm in just outside of Virginia, and down went John Wilkes Booth, the assassin of Abraham Lincoln. They found him on Dick Garrett's farm. Richard Garrett had a farm across the Rappahannock River, about 2 miles south of Port Royal, Virginia. When they got to the farm, Booth was introduced to them as Jim Boyd, a Confederate soldier who had been wounded in the Battle of Petersburg, because they noticed he limped. They had no idea, the Garretts had no clue that Abraham Lincoln had been assassinated. News traveled a little slow back in 1865, but when the Union forces arrived, the cavalry, and they described Jim Boyd to the cavalry, they said, that ain't Jim Boyd, that's John Wilkes Booth. They tracked him down to the barn, they set it on fire, and they eventually killed him. John Wilkes Booth met his maker on this date 157 years ago today. Lou Gehrig, he's one of my all-time favorite baseball players. I think you know that. He retired with 493 career home runs, 1,995 RBIs, but he got cheated out of a home run and 2 RBIs on this date in 1931. It was in Washington, D.C. The Yankees were taking on the Senators. In the very first inning, Lynn Larry walked. Lou Gehrig hit a home run. He hit the ball so hard, it just barely cleared the fence, but it was a screaming line drive. It hit an empty chair in the stands, in the right field stands, and the center fielder caught it and threw it back in. It was a home run. Everybody saw it. Well, Lynn Larry looked up, and he saw the center fielder throwing the ball in for the third out, and he said, well, the inning's over, and he jogged into the Yankee dugout. Lou Gehrig was jogging out his home run with his head down, didn't notice that Lynn Larry had run off the field and was called out for passing the runner. That was a third out. He didn't get the home run. He didn't get the 2 RBIs. He didn't get the 2 runs. The Yankees lost the game by 2 runs. And in 1931, Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth tied for the American League home run race with 46 home runs each, even though Lou Gehrig actually hit 47 home runs, and he should have had 187 RBIs instead of 185. Baseball's a funny sport. 60 years ago today, for the first time ever, an American spacecraft landed on the moon. And by landed, I mean crashed on the moon. The Ranger 4 wasn't supposed to crash. It was supposed to go up to the moon. It was supposed to get information, all that stuff. Well, the computer on board that was controlling it messed up, and it crashed on the dark side of the moon. It never returned any scientific information whatsoever. We made it to the moon. It's still up there, by the way, just sitting in pieces. Space is hard. It's complicated stuff. And speaking of complicated stuff, they were sitting around the Forsmark nuclear power plant in Sweden, just sitting around, and all of a sudden their radiation thing started going crazy. What the heck is this? So the Forsmark nuclear power plant called up the Swedish radiation authorities and said, hey, we got a lot of radiation going on out there. Is something going on? And the Swedish Radiation Safety Authority said, no, we're fine. We're going to call the Soviets up. So the Swedish radiation people called up the Soviet Union and said, "You got any problems?" Soviet Union, "No, fine. Nothing to see here." And they said, "Okay, well, there's so much radiation floating over Sweden that we're going to tell the International Atomic Energy Agency." And then the Soviet Union said, "Yeah, we got a little problem in Chernobyl." Here's how it was reported at the time.
It does now seem likely that sometime in the last couple of days there's been perhaps the worst accident in the short history of the world's nuclear power industry. The Russians may have been hoping they could contain it without having to release the news, as they appear to have tried to do so in an earlier accident in the Urals 19 years ago. But the fact that they have had to reveal it and admit that there are casualties suggests they're deeply worried about the scale of it. Well, it was just 4 hours ago when Soviet viewers were watching their evening news bulletin and the announcer revealed that the accident had taken place. The official news agency TASS later added that aid was being given to those affected.
There has been a nuclear accident in the Soviet Union, and the Soviets have admitted that it happened. The Soviet version is this. One of the atomic reactors at the Chernobyl atomic power plant near the city of Kiev was damaged, and there is speculation in Moscow that people were injured and may have died. The Soviets may have been fairly quick to acknowledge the accident because evidence in the form of mild nuclear radiation had already reached beyond the Soviet borders to Scandinavia.
It remains, to this day, the world's worst nuclear accident. How many people actually died? Nobody really knows, because people were dying of nuclear poisoning and nuclear fallout for many, many years afterwards. The conservative estimate, about 9,000 people died, but some estimates say closer to maybe 15,000 people died. And by the way, Chernobyl will be completely cleaned up in the year 2065. Circle that on your calendar. And at 32 minutes after the hour, birthdays. Eddie Egan, a very unique claim to fame Eddie had. He was born in the state in 1897, died in 1967 at the age of 70. He was the only person to win a gold medal at the Winter Olympics and the Summer Olympics in 2 different sports. He won the gold medal in boxing at the 1920 Antwerp Games, and at the 1932 Lake Placid Winter Games, he won gold medal in the 4-man bobsled. Pretty darn impressive. Eddie Egan, born in the state in 1897. Carol Burnett is 89 years old today, a long time, of course. Star of the Carol Burnett Show on CBS from 1967 to 1978. 6 Emmy Awards, 7 Golden Globes, a bunch of Tonys, some Grammys, and a Presidential Medal of Freedom. Happy birthday to Carol Burnett. And the great Polish bicycle racer, that guy is 31. Going to take a break. Got an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. Then we're going to put you in the mood for a little apple blossom. It's our 103rd spring party. Comes up, starts on Thursday. Darci Christoferson is going to wet your whistle. We're talking apple blossom. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think I'll sell my veggies at the market.
Do you even remember to water the house plants? I do this?
You can do this.
Hey, we need to build a home office. We're adding another bathroom.
I think I'll study programming.
Bro, you even connect your phone to Bluetooth.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
You love to help others. You need a solid career.
You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Collins Fashions welcomes spring in this beautiful Wenatchee Valley. We are so thankful for green valleys and flowering fruit trees. We are prepared with glorious color throughout the store. Flattering tees and tunics, jeans, capris, shorts, skirts, sundresses, and sandals, and many of your favorite brands. Beautifully designed dresses from Joseph Ribkoff, Frank Lyman, and Alex Evening for your special occasions. Brighton jewelry and handbags will complete your outfit at Collins, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Hey, this is Mike, Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, someone once said to me, the reason they had a problem with gay people is that I don't agree with the gay lifestyle. Okay, well, my question is, what is the gay lifestyle, and how do we determine who demonstrates it? Now, I'm a monogamous, heterosexual male, and of the gay people I know, their lifestyle isn't any different than mine. And for that matter, what is the heterosexual lifestyle? The life I lead? Or do we say the straight life is demonstrated by somebody like Hugh Hefner, that gal with the really big butt? What's her name? Kim, what's her name? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. From what I can see, the lifestyle of the gay people I know is as normal and as mundane as mine. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
The Washington State Apple Blossom Festival is here, and NCW Life is your official TV station. Join us for the Stamilk Growers Grand Parade on Saturday, May 7th at 11 a.m. Coverage sponsored by CASA of Chelan and Douglas Counties, Together for Youth, JDSA Law, Mini Blinds, and more. That Pizza Place, Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center, Walkabout Grill. Your official TV station for the 2022 Apple Blossom Festival is the NCW Life Channel.
What is home? A place to gather, a place to grow, provide shelter for the ones we love, eat, drink, restore, build trust. It's a place to rest when the workday is done, a place to find quiet after a night of good fun. What an honor we have at Guild to help own, finance, create, pave the way to live in home.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is almost here, April 28th. Circle it on your calendar. Our 10-day springtime party now entering its 100 and... How many years is this, Darcy? 103rd Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, and making her very first appearance at Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm proud to introduce you to Darci Christoferson, Festival Administrator. Crowd loves you. They love you. How you doing?
I'm good.
Thanks for the swag. Appreciate it.
Yes. I'm wearing swag today too. This is one of our sweatshirts that we are revamping. So this is actually the logo from 1974, Queen Julie Kuntz. Yes. So we just took out the year and we put it on this sweatshirt, and we did it with a few of our clothing items. I gave you one that is of an old Apple box that we got from the Apple Commission, and we recreated the logo, and it looks really cool. It's like our #1 seller right now. And then we did another one too. So
I can see why.
Go online to appleblossom.org and you can check out the merchandise, but we will be selling some, of course, at the booth.
Before we get into the meat and potatoes, speaking of royalty, how are they doing?
Oh, they're doing great.
Yeah.
This is crunch time. You know, they get time off during spring break. We always give them the Friday and then the whole week and then kind of a light Monday. But now they're just so busy. I would say that this group of girls is more busy than even 2019, and I think it's because the schools are just so excited to have visitors and have people come and be with the kids besides just their teachers. So they're booked at least 5 appearances a day from now until Apple Blossom.
Good for them.
I know, it's really cool.
They dropped by our studios a couple days ago. They seem to have taken to their roles.
They're doing a wonderful job. They're just really, really sweet girls. Really sweet girls.
And now they have to get ready to do this
elbow, wrist,
can't wait.
wrist. Yes.
Fantastic Shows Carnival. Let's get this out of the way right now. It seems to have a hard time finding a permanent home, but that's understandable. Yeah. You need a big footprint and a lot of parking, and that's not as easy as it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, people probably don't remember this, but in 2016, we've been at Riverfront Park for over 25 years. That was our home. It's the foot of Fifth Street. It's a beautiful location. You're overlooking the water. It's just a wonderful spot to have a carnival. Well, in 2016, the PUD felt that there were some environmental issues happening with the ground, so we weren't able to have the carnival there. So we had to move across the street for 2016, and then 17, 18, and 19, we were at the Town Toyota Center. And then, of course, we didn't have a festival in 2020. 2021, we moved to Lincoln Park because the Town Toyota Center was used for vaccination site. And then this year, the Town Toyota Center has an event. So not to say that they wouldn't let us be there, but we felt it was just time to go somewhere else. So it's been a journey trying to find a spot, because you're right. There's so many places, but they either won't let you be in those spots, and our community is growing. Mm-hmm. You know, an old orchard is now an apartment complex. An old building is now an apartment complex. So it's been a journey, but we're just fortunate enough that the Wenatchee Valley Mall and Sportsman Warehouse said, "We love to have you. Let's do this." So I think it'll be a really awesome location. I mean, the flatbed or the semis can go right in there, drop off the rides, and
there's plenty of parking.
Plenty of parking. That was the thing that, you know, I think everybody's complaining about is the parking, but as you know, we all in Wenatchee and East Wenatchee need to understand that sometimes you have to park 2 blocks away from something to walk to it, and it's okay to do that. There's plenty of parking. There's lots of little parking lots around the mall. So I think everybody will be surprisingly thrilled with it being there. With Classy Chassis being there on Friday night, I'm just so excited for the East Wenatchee merchants to be busy and to have lots of people in their restaurants. And
I'm all for having more events in East Wenatchee.
Yes.
It's the Wenatchee Valley. It's everybody's festival. And I think it's fantastic, quite
It's
frankly.
pretty cool when you go across the river and you're on the bridge, and I have been visualizing it now. It's like, oh my gosh, you'll be able to see everything from there. So it'll be really easy for people to pop over and go there. So I think it'll work out great. But of course, all the information about the carnival's online at appleblossom.org.
How much does the Fantastic Show people play a role in where the carnival's going to be? I mean,
a huge role.
Okay.
Yeah, they need to be happy with the location. So I'm very good at Google mapping now. It's like, oh, I got to Google map this and do the little lines and all. So I learned how to do all that. And of course, Aaron Kelly with the city of Wenatchee helped me a lot in finding real estate. And the DOT was a great spot, but then it really wasn't. Once we really looked at it, it wasn't really safe. And with it being on the avenue, we had some concerns with that. So
a lot of traffic.
Yeah, a lot of traffic. And we liked the idea because it was so big. But once we looked at it, it was just too much work for the city and us. So that's where we were like, oh, geez, we got to find a place.
It's understandable.
So thank you to the mall. Thank you to Sportsman Warehouse. They didn't have to do it, and they did it, and it's awesome.
These things will be everywhere. If you don't already have one, you will shortly. The Wenatchee World printed up the annual program. It's got everything you need in there.
Yep. So that's been in this week's paper. So if you don't get the Wenatchee World, we are more than happy to stick one in the mail to you. But everything that's in here is online at appleblossom.org, and of course our app, which is sponsored by CrunchPack. So this is more for people that like to, catalog people that like to have it on their table. And if you're a business that would like to have a couple in your business, just give us a quick call, and we'd be happy to swing some by. They always print extras for us.
2 long-standing Wenatchee businesses are going to be honored here coming up at the Apple Blossom Festival. The Goodfellow Brothers construction firm is going to be the Grand Marshals of the Stimult Growers Grand Parade. And McDougall & Sons gets the Apple Citizen of the Year Award. Kudos.
Yeah.
Nicely done for both of those organizations.
They were actually supposed to be 2021s,
right.
But we made the decision to not have a Grand Marshal or an Apple Citizen because everything was so funky for 2021, even though it was a fabulous festival. So it's ironic how it's carried over to 2022 with our theme being celebrating our roots. So it has worked out great. It's actually perfect. But they're both very, very honored to be recognized in both Grand Marshal and Apple Citizen. And I think because of that, I think we're at 400 people right now going to the All Service Club Luncheon, which is on May 4th. We'll be honoring these 2 individuals or businesses. And then, of course, Steve Rabel is our guest speaker who we've wanted for a really long time, and he'll be the guest speaker. So I think people are real excited about the luncheon.
It's cool to get all the service clubs, Exchange, Rotary, Lions, they all get together. And
we did it last year, but I think the feel is just kind of different this year, just because it's like real. And again, we're just honoring huge families that have done so much for our community.
How's that decision made? Who gets Apple Citizen of the Year, which is always ag-related anyway?
Yes.
The Smoke Growers Grand Parade Grand Marshal could be really almost anybody.
Yeah.
But how's that decision made for the Apple Citizen?
So Apple Citizen, there's a group of Apple industry people. A lot of them are past recipients of the Apple Citizen of the Year. So they just meet and then they come up with a list. So I have a list for the next 5 years, which is what I had before too. So they just kind of, and I always touch base with them every year and say, okay, I'm just the surprise person. So I'm in charge of...
You get the best job.
I get the best job. I get to go in and say, surprise! And I always work with, like Irene Birdsall this year with McDougall & Son. Her and I were emailing each other for 4 months. Just planning how to surprise, because what's hard with a lot of these people, with the Goodfellows and with the McDougalls, is they're never in a room together. They're in Hawaii or they're traveling somewhere. I mean, because Goodfellow has a place in Hawaii, obviously, their second business. So it's very hard to make a surprise happen when you're dealing with so many people. But we did it. So we had an important meeting that we bashed into, and that's always super fun. So I'm just a surprise lady. I have nothing to do with picking Apple Citizen.
2 new things that, if this works out, it's going to become a tradition. It's all about traditions.
Yes.
Some things come and go, but some things are always every year. The parade comes immediately to mind. Let's talk about the Fast Pass, first of all. This is a great idea. $30 gets you a lot of fun.
Yeah, so for $30 for our beer garden, we call it a Fast Pass. We have a cover charge every day, whether it's during the week or weekends. So what the Fast Pass is you basically don't have to pay a cover charge. You'll get a pounder with a pounder glass with our logo on it, the beer garden logo. You'll get a free token, and then you'll get a beer garden t-shirt for $30. So you go online to appleblossom.org. There's a link. You just sign up and pay for it, of course. And then we'll have your Fast Pass stuff ready for you to pick up April 25th on at the festival office. It's a great way.
Does Alex Haley still need help? He did call out for volunteers.
We're doing really good with Beer Garden. Okay. I think we pretty much have everything full. We do need some help still in the information booth, but if you go online at appleblossom.org or just call us and tell us that you want to help out, we will be able to tell you what's open. But we're almost full with all of our volunteers.
The Stamil Growers Grand Parade features bands and floats and dignitaries and equestrian events. And horses are horses. When nature calls, the horses will do what they do. And they don't care if it's in front of 25,000 people on Orondo Avenue. Thus was born the Road Apple Roulette. This is great.
Yeah, the Wenatchee Sunrise Rotary has actually been working on this for 18 months because it was supposed to take place in 2020. So basically, from what I understand, you buy a ticket for $5, and then there's going to be 5 squares down the parade route. And there'll be a horse group that is drawn. So let's say it's the Ellensburg Posse Rodeo. Not that it is, but let's just say it is. So when they go down the parade route, whatever square they poop in, then that person's or people's number goes in a pot, and then they pull that one, and you can win $10,000 for $5. So we have tickets at the festival. I think they only have like 1,000 left.
Oh, wow.
And of course, you know how it is. Everybody will wait till the last minute. But I really encourage people to go to or come by the Apple Blossom Festival and buy a ticket because $10,000. And then they have like second, third place prizes for like $500. So it'll be really funny. But they're going to chalk out these big squares. And I think it's in front of it's on Orondo, and I think it's in front of the old GTE building.
Yes.
You know, because there's no business happening there. So I think that's where they're going to be doing it. They're so excited. And they, of course, had to explain it to everybody at the Grand Parade meeting, and everybody's like, can I buy like 10? They're so excited.
Yes, we're betting on where the horses do their business during the parade. I think it's a great idea.
It's a great idea. And they're so excited. So it's a big fundraiser for them.
Royalty doing good. Carnival moved, but we're cool with that. McDougall & Sons, Apple Citizens of the Year, Goodfellow Brothers, Smoke Growers Grand Parade, Grand Marshals. Bet on a square for horse poop. Entertainment.
Yep, the entertainment schedules in our souvenir program, and of course online. We are fun-filled entertainment. We have lots and lots of entertainment. We have some new groups, some groups that have been around for a while. So again, you know, if you have a particular day that you want to check out, our art print is still available in Canvas. We have an 8x10, 11x14, and then of course puzzles. So that's happening, and we'll be able to sell those too at the merchandise booth.
I highly recommend you go see Palmer Anthony.
Yay!
On Saturday night, the 7th. Entertainment on the stage. They take to the stage at 6:30. Palmer Anthony, 6:30, Saturday night, the 7th. Pack the joint.
His nephew.
Personal plug for Brady there. Anything else?
I just really encourage people, again, to call us if you need a souvenir program. We'll be happy to mail it. Go to the appleblossom.org because everything gets updated. Sometimes the entertainment schedule changes, so I really encourage people to check the app before they come. But really just enjoy. It's finally at Kiwanis. Pancake Breakfast is back.
Yep.
That will be happening at Triangle Park. So come and get your tickets. It's here, and we're just so excited that it's here.
One of my favorite stories a number of years ago, going to the Kiwanis Pancake Breakfast, and the bands are getting off the school buses on Miller Street at Triangle Park, and they get in line, and they go, "This is the only place that feeds you." I mean, we're here to do a parade. We drove all the way from Gig Harbor or Spokane or Puyallup or wherever, And you show up, and what do? They stuff your face full of scrambled eggs and pancakes.
And we have a hospitality tent that Albertsons donates, all the bagels and donuts and everything for all the people that are a part of the parade. And then we also have Pat Lynn and Sally File, who every year do little goodie bags for all the visiting royalty. So it has toothbrushes and dental floss and all the things that kind of help them get through the rest of the circuit. So we are the festival that is pretty good with hospitality.
If you do 102 festivals, after a while, you start to figure it out, I suppose, right? The 103rd Apple Blossom Festival, again, this year's theme, Celebrating Our Roots. This is the program. It has everything you need. And one quick little programming reminder, we will be there for the Kai's Fiber Youth Parade, broadcasting it live. We'll be broadcasting the Smoke Growers Grand Parade. We'll be broadcasting Classy Chassis. And we will be there on the full week of Apple Blossom. We'll be doing our newscasts from the park. So
right by the beer garden.
We'll be doing our newscasts right by the beer garden. Grant will be on his best behavior.
Yes, I know. I'm not worried.
Now at 5:31, that might be another story. Yeah, there you go.
Next to the beer garden.
Making her very first appearance on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Darci Christoferson. We finally get to meet. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
With all the variety on SureStream TV from LocalTel, there's always something to watch. But what if you hit the couch in the middle of all the shows? That's a perfect time to use the features Catch Up or Restart. Catch up on shows from up to 3 days ago, or restart your show from the beginning. Go to your guide and select the show to restart. Then play, pause, rewind on your schedule. Don't forget, SureStream TV from LocalTel lets you decide when shows begin.
Did you know that nearly 50% of pet poisoning cases involve human medications and prescription drugs? Sometimes the culprit's a curious dog, but cats get into their share of trouble as well. Other times, pet owners mistakenly give their pets their own medications that are safe to people but toxic to their pets. Dr. Shauna Baez and her staff care about your pets. Go to pawsandclawsvh.com for a complete list of medications to avoid or call 888-PAWS.
The Washington State Apple Blossom Festival is here, and NCW Life is your official TV station. Join us for the Kai's Fiber Youth Parade, Saturday, April 30th at 11 a.m. Coverage sponsored by CASA of Chelan and Douglas Counties, Together for Youth, JDSA Law, Mini Blinds and more, That Pizza Place, Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center, and Walkabout Grill. NCW Life Channel, your official TV station for the 103rd Washington State Apple Blossom Festival.
It's going on 4 decades of doing business in the Wenatchee Valley. And I want people to know that it matters. It matters to me that people choose to do business with us. It matters that people trust us, trust us. That matters more than anything.
All right. What do you say we wrap up this Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley? Sends you out the door to do whatever it is that you need to do on this Tuesday. But a couple things you need to know as we keep an eye on the weather. Number one, a little on the windy side today. It's kind of going to straddle that line between breezy and windy. As far as sustained winds, we're talking 15 to 20 miles an hour sustained winds. It's going to pick up in intensity as the day goes on from about 2 o'clock to about sunset. It's going to be quite windy here in the Wenatchee Valley. And these are your wind gusts, your peak wind gusts. Now, sustained winds, you can see a little on the breezy side today and tonight, for that matter. It's not going to really die down until we get to early Wednesday morning. And speaking of early Wednesday morning and early Thursday morning, chilly. Tonight's overnight low going to be in the 30s, and tomorrow's overnight low is going to be in the 30s. And we'll be in the 30s perhaps early Thursday morning. One of the reasons that's going to be so windy today is that there is a cold front moving through the region, and that means the temperatures are going to take a bit of a dip as well. And unfortunately, the odds are continuing to increase that we may see some rain on Saturday morning for the Kai's Fiber Youth Parade. From the National Weather Service, here we go. 58, our forecast high today. Sunshine for the most part. The clouds are hanging around, but they're going to be departing here as the day progresses because the wind is going to blow them out of here. And again, a bit breezy this morning, downright windy this afternoon. Look at the overnight low tonight. Close to freezing for the Wenatchee Valley, and those pockets, and you know where you live, that can get colder than that, are going to get colder than that, perhaps freezing or below that. We do it again Wednesday, not quite as windy, but quite a bit of sunshine. We're going to jump ahead to Saturday, as you can see, maybe a little bit of rain for the youth parade. That's it for us. Have a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.